Thank you for joining me on CITAM ChurchOnline as we continue with this series, Why Am I Here? We looked at your birth or your coming to the world. Then we looked at your early life. Today I want to talk about a critical juncture in your life, the divine call or calling of God in your life. We've been looking at Moses, and today we are at the story of the burning bush, when he had an encounter with God. And you may have a certain encounter which helps you to know clearly where God is leading you. And if that happens to you, we want to just help you to see what you can do with such a divine calling. Now, you know that the Bible says, Exodus chapter 3 and 4, Moses was taking care of his sheep, not his father-in-law's sheep. And he went to the back of the desert, and that's where he heard the voice of God. Actually, he didn't hear the voice of God first. He just saw a burning bush. Now, several things. Number one, Moses was working. He was taking care of the sheep of his father-in-law. I have a feeling that he was wondering, what will happen to my desire to be a leader? What will happen to my concern about my people in Egypt that are being oppressed? Will that dream ever come to pass? And he probably had time to think about it while in the desert. But notice that he did not sit down and just lament. He continued to work. W-O-R-K. Everybody, if you want to be useful to this world, if you want to fulfill your purpose in God's agenda for you, you've got to find work. Do something with your life. Never be found idle. Of course, you can take a break here and there, but if you don't have a paid job, find something to volunteer, find a business, find things to do for other people, but by all means, do some work. God is interested in those guys who are working. Okay, so he's working and then he sees a burning bush. He says, I've got to go and check why this bush there's the fire, but the bush is not being consumed. Now, it's possible that there are other people who saw that fire and thought, who cares? If it's a bush, it's up to it. I have nothing to do with it. So you need to get concerned about other people. You need to get concerned about other people's, that bushes may be burning. Take interest in other people's issues, and with that you'll get to hear the voice of God. Don't be too focused with yourself. Don't be too much in your pity party saying, oh, poor me. Because if you do that, you may not get a chance to hear God speaking to you. So pay attention to burning bushes all over you. And if there is a burning bush, take some time and take a look at it. And then he heard the voice of God. But it is very interesting that, Moses started talking to God and he said, I can't speak. In Exodus chapter 3 and verse 10. And then that's excellent. That's great. Because you see, God answered him and said, who gave man his mouth? Who makes him deaf or mute? Who gives him sight or makes him blind? Is it not I, the Lord? You see? So the fact that you have some deficiencies does not mean that you cannot be a leader. Now, if I tell people that I used to be very shy, that I could not speak in front of people, they think I'm joking. But it is true. I was the shyest person when I first joined primary school. And I still have a bit of shyness. So you may not know. So you tell God, he calls you. You don't follow God in your calling because you are strong. No. If you sense that God is calling you in a certain direction, you may not have the natural abilities all the time. Sometimes you have. You may not have the personality that seems to fit that job. But if God is speaking to you, he is the one who can change your circumstance. Or he can modify. In this case, he modified for Moses. He said, okay, even Aaron shall be with you. He'll help you to speak to the people. So do not decide that since I have this weakness, therefore I cannot be a leader. Don't say because I stammer, therefore I cannot be a preacher. Don't say because I did not do so very well in Form 4, therefore I cannot become a member of parliament. If you've heard the voice of God, he can take care of the deficiencies that you have. Trust in God. Now, he said, he said, Moses was saying, no, Lord, I can't go because anyway, who am I that these people should listen to me? If you feel deficient, then maybe you are the right candidate. The question, who am I, from Moses was answered by God's who I am. Okay? First of all, God says, don't worry, I will be with you. But secondly, he says, I am who I am. I am who I am. I will be with you. So I want to encourage you that if God has spoken to you, take a step, and you've got to take a step. If you just hang around, it may never happen. You've got to take a step. Let me talk to those who feel called perhaps to ministry. You take a step by enrolling in a Bible school, for instance. If you are called to be a politician, you take a step by taking the form for the elections. If you're called to be, let's say, a business person, you take a step of going and finding out what are the requirements of doing this business. You must take a step. If the Lord has spoken to you, then you must take a step and trust God, and don't worry about your weaknesses. He will transform them and help you to fulfill your purpose in life. Again, remember, even if you are not there yet, the Lord's presence will make it happen to you. Only just take a step in the direction that God is speaking to you about. I hope this has been helpful. Time, as we've talked about, where am I here? Where am I headed? And may it be a blessing to you. If you would like to ask questions or comment, please drop us a line through the social media platforms given there. Share this video and comment and share with other people. We'll be glad to hear from you. God bless you. Thank you for watching CITAM Church Online.